What I do know is that we can move on to story time. And this one, like many of them, is rather special just from the name alone. This one is called Does Pac Man Actually Take Place in Space? You might know the yellow mascot Pac Man, who eats power pellets to kill the ghosts and collect more dots. Created by Namco in 1980, it was the best-selling arcade ever made. Not arcade game, just arcade, I guess. Since it spawned merchandise and other stuff, but everyone didn't know what's the story or plot of the game. Well, I know what's the real theory for the franchise. Saying theory like that, then you don't actually know. What theory, I ask? It's most commonly came from a creepy pasta named Pac Man. Yeah, it's just the name of it. The story was the real-life version of the classic old-school game, with a twist. The story had negative reviews, but it wasn't bad. No, it is the children who are wrong. The pasta itself was kinda like Dead Space. So I'm going to cover if Pac Man take place in space, which I made up. Oh my god, if Isaac turns out to be Pac Man? The game of the story, takes place in the year 2043, where Tommy, Ava, Grayson, Ethan, and Calvin enter the spaceship. Their tasks were like this: cleaning the floor, fixing the systems, and doing some scientific experiment. Well, everything went wrong until the next day of Tuesday. However, in the control room, Ethan saw that one of the airlocks... Excuse me, it's so exciting. Ethan saw that one of the airlocks were broken. They checked and saw the pipes explode. The 4 crews running to escape, but they passed out. If the airlock breaks, wouldn't that cause decompression and... I mean, it would do more than make you pass out. Calvin was just sleeping until he woke up. Yeah, that's generally how that works. He realized that he was alone and wear a yellow spacesuit. Calvin was the only person in the ship where the 4 crews turned into a zombified ghosts. Was this pitched as that Shadow Labyrinth game? I'm assuming so. To stay alive, he uses pack dots or pills to survive. Had trouble adapting that part, huh? If you don't know, Calvin was Pac Man, who was the engineer of the ship, and the other crews were the names for the 4 ghosts in the arcade. I mean, those names aren't even close, but... The dark blue walls were actually a part of a hallway of several rooms by the 5 crews. For a reason, why does the 4 crews turn into ghosts? Because they They traveled to the fictional dark galaxy. The gray air is filled with chemical of a virus known as Ostus, which turns people and animals into floating zombies. I can't tell the whole plot and theory because that's it. So he just stopped halfway through. You make your own fanfic whatever you want. Isn't that what you were doing, though? I mostly compare to my story to Alien. That sci-fi movie about some colonist visiting a planet and found a egg that pops out a face hugger and hugs a Piran's face and a baby Xeno pops out and yeah. Pac Man was not like these movies. Then why are you comparing it? Not even among us either. I guess the franchise is keeping up to this day. Was this a stream of consciousness fan theory about Pac Man? He seemed to kind of lose focus the more the story went on.